Let's bring in I-24 News correspondent Tal Heinrich, who once worked in the German parliament and, of course, has spent years covering a number of developments in the Middle East. Whenever anybody hears the idea of the far right being on the march in Germany, it sounds frightening. But in reality, how much influence will this particular party have in the German parliament?
Of course, it reminisces the worst parts of German history, and nobody can ignore it. But we heard Angela Merkel yesterday, David, and she said that the AFD party will have zero influence at the German parliament, not on foreign policy, not European policy, not refugee policy. And she's somewhat right, because nobody will partner with this party right now. Even people sitting in the opposition with the AFD party are not really lined up with them on policy issues. On the other hand, 13% of the vote is a major achievement, and this sector of the population, it cannot be ignored, and it is a wake-up call for the traditional parties, that CDU, the SPD, that they have to address the issues concerning this sector of the population. And this is something that we also heard from Martin Erwin Renner. He's one of the founders of the AFD party, and he sat down with I-24 News.
I know that we have a big success because the problems are so evident in Germany, and the established party don't talk about these problems. They don't realize that we have these problems, but we have the problems, and now we discuss about these problems, and a lot of people will follow us because they think, yes, we have problems, and we see it, we see the problems every day.
We're seeing this phenomenon not only in Germany, of course, it's also in France, it's in Austria, but maybe even here in the United States in some respect. But when it happens in Germany, and it resonates the past, having a far-right party sending delegates to German parliament, you just can't ignore it.
There are Jews across Europe, even some in Germany, and also, of course, Israel. How are they looking at these election results?
I think you'll get so many answers to this question, and it really depends who you're asking, because major Jewish groups, of course, expressed their dismay about the rise of the nationalists in Germany, and it's scary, to be honest. And many people, many Jews, many Israelis as well, are opposing them, because some say, you know, right now the Muslims are their aim, are their target, and this anti-Muslim rhetoric is actually going to take place inside the German parliament. But on the other hand, if you target Muslims today, then sooner or later it can become other minorities, including Jews, and maybe that could lead to narrowing down of Jewish religious freedom, and who knows. On the other hand, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I mean, I don't know if it's right, but some people believe that it is. And they are, the AFD party, they are friends of the state of Israel. Of course, they are derived from their hatred towards Muslims, or, you know, their anti-Muslim sentiment. So
Angela Merkel stays as chancellor. What does this mean for the Trump administration?
I think the Trump administration would rather see Angela Merkel staying at this position rather than having Martin Schulz and the SPD in this position of power, because they have used the anti-Trump, the anti-United States rhetoric so much during their election campaign. And although Angela Merkel and Schulz, they've both been very criticizing of President Trump and the U.S. administration policies, of course, if we're talking about the Green Agenda, Paris Accord, refugee crisis, and the rhetoric of Trump, but she's just better for the Trump administration than Schulz, because she didn't use this card. She's saying that Trump should be shown the appropriate respect for holding this position of you know, being at the White House. And if we're talking about certain measures that the U.S. administration has been trying to promote, like to increase to 2% the military budget of certain members of NATO, including Germany. So Angela Merkel has been somewhat supportive of this, and she's saying that the German military needs to be modernized, and Schulz and the SPD, they've been very critical of certain policies that has been trying to promote.
I-24 News correspondent Tal Heinrich, terrific stuff, Tal. Thank you. Appreciate it.